Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and that was Reagan's worst mistake as a president. So I think we wouldn't have the problem that we have today if Reagan had not done that, and I think if he were here today, he would say the same thing. So thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for the witnesses for being here today. This task force is engaged in very important work, and I'm encouraged by the discussion. I wish we would broaden it just a little bit, because I think, Mr. Lazarus, you and I may agree on something. I think Congress has failed to be specific in what the executive should do and should not do. I disagree with your interpretation of prosecutorial discretion, but I completely agree that sometimes Congress has punted and has given the executive too much authority. And I think it's pure laziness. It's just we don't want to write precise laws, so we write these broad laws, and then we give the executive all this power, all this authority. And I hope that we get to that issue sometime in this task force, because we're going to fight all day about whether the president did something right or wrong pertaining to immigration and pertaining to the health care law. But we can agree that if we were more precise in our writing, and we were more precise in our orders to the executive and our guidelines to the executive, we wouldn't be giving all this prosecutorial discretion, all this discretion to all these individuals. Now, I ran for Congress after actually seeing President Bush's flagrant examples of overreach in some of his signing statements. So as a Republican, I was dumbfounded, and it was abhorrent to me that the president was not following. And many of my friends on the left, they were with me. They actually disagreed with President Bush, and they looked at what he did as something that was taken away from the power and the authority that Congress has. It shocks me every single time we have one of these hearings, and I don't hear a single Democrat go after the president for his executive overreach, and it actually saddens me, because I thought we were more honest than that. And I have been upset with my own party when we have done it, and it really saddens me to never hear one single Democrat, not one, say, you know what, maybe we should reconsider the executive overreach of this president. They're okay when it's their goose that is being cooked, but they're not okay when it's our goose. When we are getting what we want, they're not okay with it, but they seem to be okay with it when they're getting what they want. And what that means is that there's no real respect for the powers and authority that we have here in Congress. There's no real respect for the Article I authority that we have been given. It really is just a political football, that when Republicans are doing it, then we're going to defend it. When Democrats are doing it, they're going to defend it. And I hope we get beyond that. With the constant contradictions between current law and executive actions, it is not surprising that immigration enforcement is weak. Moreover, this continued overreach provides a concerning precedent for future administrations to act. Imagine what a President Trump is going to do with the precedent that this president has set forth. He's already told us that Congress doesn't work. He's already told us that he doesn't need Congress to act. Imagine what he would do, and I hope that they are consistent when a President Trump does the same thing that a President Obama does, and that they actually say it's okay because they have prosecutorial discretion. I know they won't be consistent, but I hope that they can be consistent with this. Mr. Blackman, do you believe that there is a difference between prosecutorial discretion and the President's executive action on immigration?
Yes, sir, absolutely. With respect to prosecutorial discretion, on a case-by-case basis, the President can make a decision on the merits of whether someone's warranting this treatment. What DAPA and DACA do is set a class-wide basis. For example, with DACA, nearly 97% of the people who were eligible and applied got it. The government cannot identify a single case, not one, where a person was denied for discretionary reasons. To this day, they still can't deny one. This is not prosecutorial discretion. This is an exercise of a categorical blanking, a categorical suspension of the law to an entire class of people.
Should this or any other administration unilaterally decide which immigration violations are a priority for enforcement and which are not?
There's no problem with the prioritization. Let me make this point clear. Texas has never challenged a prioritization. What they've challenged is the decision to categorically grant work authorization to an entire class of people who really are contrary to the will of Congress. The President, this Congress considered the DREAM Act. Congress said no. And the President decided these people are still warranting of this treatment.
All right, thank you. I yield back.